So we're going to jump into topic number one right away. And today's debate is going to be Jordan
Oh, we're
1's,
debating.
where we're debating, we're discussing, we're figuring
Okay.
this out. We're helping people here. We're helping because between you and I, if we can figure this out, I think that everybody else can go along with this and this will work really, really well. So as you know, when we talked about it, one of the things when we first met, we talked about was I love sneakers. I'm an avid sneakerhead, and I specifically collect Jordan 1's. That's what people know me as. I'm wearing the high top OG Jordans. So for people out there thinking about sneakers, especially of the female persuasion, is there's often a debate. Am I going with the Jordan 1's or am I going with heels? So that is our discussion to start off topic number one.
Okay, would you like me to start or would you like to
Please.
begin?
No, please, you're the guest. You lead the way.
It's a tough question. I mean, I think for me the most important thing is where am I going? Right? So, am I going to a meeting? Am I going to go run errands? So, I would say sneakers for the most part for me. I'm all about comfort. For me, comfort is most important, right? Like imagine you're walking in heels, I don't know, for half an hour. At that point, you start like, oh, my feet are hurting. I don't know if you've seen like after a night out, girls are like walking and they can't walk properly, their feet are killing. So for me,
Absolutely.
comfort is important. However, if I'm attending an important function or I have a meeting and I'm, touching on a very important topic, heels for me are everything because they make me, I don't know what it is about heels, but once you put them on, you feel like a brand new person. Jay, you probably have never tried heels on, but it's get out of here. It's a different kind of energy that you start to feel when you have heels on. So when it pertains to work or some sort of important function, I love wearing heels paired with a great outfit. But when we're talking about, some sort of sporting event, or if I'm just going to go run errands, I love sneakers. And ever since I was little, my mom used to always ask me, like, why do you have so many? They all look the same. And I'm like, but they're not the same. They have to match with this outfit. And with all of my gym outfits, I had a pair of sneakers to match those. So I can't choose one or the other. It really just depends where I'm going. But I know what you're gonna get to.
You have an idea where I'm going with it, and all right. So here's where the topics usually, when I come up with these for the Chosen Life podcast, it's something that's happened in my life or something I've interacted with, and I'm thinking, why is this the case? And back in the day when we still had the Jordan store, that was great down by the Eden Center in Toronto. We had this. We were one of the few countries in the world and cities that had Jordan stores. We had a dedicated Jordan store, so I used to go there all the time. Now I think it's a giant Foot Locker. But anyways, I'm there talking with the staff. They got to know me as I came in all the time. And I kept asking them about, men's versus women's fashions. And one of the things I was noticing was they would make specific women's line of sneakers, you know, and they weren't selling. And I asked them, like, why is this not selling? It's such a cool
Mm.
colorway and it's such a this. And the staff, men and women, always told me the same thing. They're like, women don't want women style sneakers. They want the good stuff. They want the cool stuff. They want the retro stuff. They don't want to be having that the men have the cool stuff and the women have like the women only stuff. It's not working for them.
Yeah.
So that's why the woman exclusive line wasn't selling. And that's why they went to having it as far as an all-encompassing. So really, you think of it as a unisex sneaker, and at some
Mm.
point, they started putting on the box the woman equivalent size and the man equivalent size, and then they started coming out with women's exclusive only lines in the unisex line that was geared towards women and had the women's sizing, but had the men's sizing as well. I'm going to give you an example. I
Mm.
brought props today. So
All right, let's see these bad boys.
this is one of the hardest women's sneakers to obtain. This is the Jordan 1 women's blue chills. They all have code names. So if you're going to be with this, you have to know the code name. So this is the blue chill. It's in patent leather. As you can tell, the blue chill color. So I'm a size 10 in men, which means an 11 and a half in women.
Mm-hmm.
Most popular women's sizing in shoes, I was told, for women is about a 7 to an 8, give or take, 6 to an 8. And then some go to kid sizes and some are bigger. So Yeah, like I've met women that are size 3.5 kids, size 4. What size would you take in a Jordan sneaker?
I haven't put on a Jordan sneaker in a long time, but I have some shoes that vary from like 6 to 7. It really depends. And when it's on the lower end,
Mhm.
I'll just buy the kid sizes. Sometimes they have really, really, really great sneakers too. So it just depends.
So 11.5, not the most popular size on the planet from the women's sizing, but it is out there, and some women
Hmm.
do wear it all by all means because everybody comes in different shape sizes, all good.
Right.
So Jordan
Right.
accommodates pretty much everybody. They have up to a man's size 15 sneaker, but there's men's size 5, which is a kid size, so that's okay too.
Hmm.
So from that end of it, this was not easy to obtain, and my understanding was it was not even available in Canada at this sizing because in the US they have a much bigger population base and they have just much more product to push. So Canada, we get a little bit more of a limited sizing run. So this I
Hmm.
understood was only available in the US, but I was able to obtain it. But this is a woman's sneaker. I rock this. I love this. I have no issue with that because it's unisex and it's all love and it's all sneakers. But obviously, the Nike people and the Jordan people thought of it enough that they said, you know what, we gotta get make sneakers for everybody and what people are actually asking for. So my point is this: woman has to go to a business meeting and she's rocking her blazer and she's rocking her pantsuit. You know what? I think they make a Jordan for pretty much any occasion. They make the pattern. They can make it in different colorways. So almost you can coordinate to any outfit. So I think almost heels could be extinct at this point.
I don't know. I wouldn't say everyone would agree with that, but as you were saying that, I was just envisioning like a woman wearing like a white blazer, some white dress pants, and like a kick-ass pair of sneakers, and that could work. It really could. I think our culture around that and professionalism is changing a little bit, not entirely. So I think at the end of the day, it really depends on where it is that you're working and what's acceptable in that space. But now you're giving me ideas. So let me reconsider that.
If you go back to look at the archives, I've heard of this woman named Kamala Harris, and pretty popular. And when she was rocking her style, as she's up in politics, she's known for her Converse. So she's wearing Converse with her suits, and she's meeting world leaders. So if it's good enough for Kamala, it's good enough for us. That's how I kind of look at it.
I guess we're switching things up.
No, but on that token, when you and I were talking, you had a recent photo shoot, and we were having. Whenever I have a guest that's going to come on, we kind of talk ahead of time and talking about debating on what topics we'll end up going with. It's something that somebody has to be comfortable with, interested in, but something relevant that people they'll gravitate to it. And I know everybody loves sneakers and everybody loves heels. And you were telling me the same thing when we first spoke, saying, "Hey, you know what? If I had a choice, I'm going with the sneakers." But when you had your last photo shoot, it was with heels, right?
It was, yeah. Well, now you're changing my perspective around it. I just think with the outfit that I was wearing, the heels were, fitting that outfit more. However, prior to that photo shoot, I was filming and I was wearing sneakers. Once again, I comfort for me is so important. So, yeah, it really just depends for me.
And I
Heels
think
are a
also
powerful thing.
it's a very powerful thing. And it's also like you were saying, I like that whole thing where you're saying about identity. Like I have the identity knowing that I wear my sneakers. People know me as the Jordan 1 lawyer. So that becomes part of my
Mm.
style and it works for me. Plus, I'm also comfortable. But from because I'm not a woman, I only wore heels once. I'll admit it. There's no videos of it out there. I was in gym class, and we had to lip sync to a famous song, and because we had no dancing ability, which we'll talk about that shortly, we got away with it by dressing in drag, and I wore heels, and I got to tell you, I can't think of who invented this, and I'm so sorry to all women out there that have to wear these things, and maybe some of you enjoy it, but it was the worst afternoon of my life, and my
Yeah.
feet were destroyed, and I don't know. Kudos that you're able to do it. I don't know how women pull it off as a man.
I think it's like with anything, you get used to it, right? The first time you put them on, you're like, oh my God, this kills. Also, you have to make sure you're finding a pair that's comfortable. Some of them are beautiful, like
Mm.
really high heels. I love high heels, but they're just uncomfortable. So they end up being picture heels. You don't wear them out. If you know you're going out dancing, you're not going to wear those heels. So, like with anything, it's just, doing it often and then you get used to it. Even with my dance heels, I have a pair with me here.
Oh, we got
Um,
props.
Yeah, I have my dance heels with
Let's see
me.
the dance heels.
And I
Okay.
have so many of them. I haven't worn them in so long because of COVID. We haven't performed, we haven't trained, but they've been used a lot, you
And
could
let's see the
see.
heel.
It's nothing too crazy.
But you see the
Got a heel
dance
protector
heels, so you're
on.
dancing in heels. Like I'm barely able to walk in them, and you're dancing in them.
Oh, it's incredible. And you know what? I think movement looks very different when you have heels on as well. It's a whole new world. It adds to, just who you are as a person when you're wearing them. So I can't live without them, but sometimes I just got to wear my sneakers.
Interesting. And I've met people in the business community, and especially women of power, and some have told me that their identity is known as the heels. When they put them on, they just feel majestic, they feel taller, they feel more powerful, and when they put it on, it gives them that lift, it gives them that feeling, and that's great. If it's somebody's doing it for themselves, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, it's amazing how style can also change your persona and change your outlook on life.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure, and you can touch on this. When you put on your sneakers, I'm sure there's something that you feel, right? Like it just makes you feel a certain way. So I wanted to ask you, how did you get your hands on those sneakers? You said it was really hard to get them. You had some hookups?
Oh, there's always got to be a hookup at the end of the day. In the sneaker world, it's not easy, and the game has changed a lot. There are online providers for Jordans and for sneakers in general,
Hmm.
and some of them are really good because you get them verified. I remember I bought one pair and they got canceled because they get shipped first, whether you're using Goat, StockX, eBay, whatever you're using. It got shipped
Okay.
over, it got verified, it was disqualified, it was not real, so I got refunded back, so I had to
Oh
rebuy it
no.
again. I've gone to sneaker conventions, sneaker con, they have them in Toronto, New York, all over the world. And I've been to sneaker con, and there's a verification line. So like when you go to buy your shoes, you can tell the dealer will let you go over to the verification line. You go into the verification line. You got the experts there. They're making sure it's real
Wow.
or not. But otherwise, you start going to something like Kijiji, for example. There are so many fakes out there,
Oh
and the
yeah.
fakes are so good. And it's come to the point now. Fakes are going for the same price as retail. So let's say retail is like 235 plus tax, whatever. The fakes are going for 235. It's insane because the real one is going for like
Wow.
$1,000 depending on what it is. Like some of them go below retail, not all of them are popular,
Yeah.
but it's amazing where that whole game has gone. And you have such an audience because you have kids as young as like 5 wearing them. You have like
Hmm.
people in their 50s and 60s wearing them. You have men, women, doesn't matter your sex, color, race, religion, it don't matter. We can all bond together over our love of kicks and sneakers. So getting something that's US exclusive, your only hopes are either going to the States, having a
Hmm.
hookup in the States, or really just ordering them online. And Kijiji, I mean, there are people that sell authentic as well. You ask them for the receipt, you have to get kind of a feeling, you look at their ratings, but it's a very crazy game out there. And I feel really bad because some people go spend their hard-earned money and they buy something very exclusive, and they find out it's fake afterwards. And even though it looks really great, you want the real thing. You hear people that like
Hmm.
have their kicks stolen in school. When people are going on.
Oh, the worst.
That's terrible. Like kids walking home barefoot. Somebody stole their shoes when they saved up all their money to get it. You don't want to see stuff like that, obviously. Where was really an eye opener for me was you. I don't know if you heard of Virgil from Off White, and he was the lead designer for LV. He passed away recently. Really well known guy in the fashion community.
Hmm.
And he when he partnered up with Jordan, he made a collab, and they had their Off White Jordan 1's.
Nice.
And the main one, the first one he came out with was with the Chicago one, the red white one. Those are going like insane money. Like those are just
What are we talking?
5 grand easily. Like you're paying. Like it's just
Wow.
in another world. So I bought a pair of them. Not the Chicago's. They had the UNC colorways, the blue and white. I got them. I got them for close to retail. I bought them online. I bought them before they were even released. It just people weren't sure where they were going with them, and I got them around retail. And I remember wearing them down the streets of Toronto. They hadn't even been released yet. People were stopping their cars on the street on Yonge Street and asking me about the shoes, taking pictures with me. And I said, and this is like, we're talking like easily 2 years ago. And I'm like, this is nuts. This is another level. And that's the point of where sneakers have, and they brought into our culture. And it's no longer, just a basketball shoe that a kid wears, going to grade
Mhm.
8, going to high school. You have people of all kinds and all levels. Like I rock them with suits. I'm going to a business meeting, I'm going to a wedding, whatever. If I was gonna go meet Putin, I'm wearing my Jordan ones. That's the way it's gonna be. Like that's just my style, and that's where I'm going with it. But especially for the women that are listening and making their decisions, I wanted to bring on the most stylish woman I know, as far as from the business world of how she does it, because I know it's a big choice.
Yeah, it is. Well, now I'm gonna change all my outfits. I'll be thinking of you when I got my suits on. I'll be putting on a pair of sneakers.
If you're curious, because I know you're a big influencer in the TikTok and Instagram world, go check how some of the Instagram influencers they're sporting their kicks with their outfits, with skirts, dresses. It's incredible where the fashion world's gone. So I'm glad I was able to provide you some stylish value today.
Always. I mean, that's how we connected, right? I remember you started talking about your sneakers. I was like, yes, yes, more.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.